Hi everyone, it's Norman Koshnick here from Eyes on Cricket. Yes, Eyes on Cricket. A show that is covering today a double header, game 25 and game 26. Game 25, of course, is between South Africa and Sri Lanka. And Sri Lanka's just taken a wicket of a also typical South African run out. Anish Thakur has joined us. So yes, South Africa are currently 3 for 49, chasing some 142. The Sanka got 72 for the Sri Lanka. The opening batting looked pretty good. Got them out of a bit of a hole there. So 142. South Africa currently 350 after 8.1. So it's pretty, well, somewhat evenly poised, you would argue. Maybe Sri Lanka is slightly in front. A horrible one out from South Africa. And South Africans must have it in their blood to get run out. Saga is there as well. Yes, it's an interesting situation here with South Africa. You would argue, and Sri Lanka, probably not in the race for the semi-finals positions. In fact, the two teams which are following England and Australia seem to be the ones that are logically going to be in the hunt for those semi-final spots. That's going to be a match that we'll talk about next, game 26 of the World Cup. Yeah, this Sharjah pitch, which is where both Sri Lanka and South Africa are playing, has been rather low, rather poor in its quality, not really producing many runs. Sri Lanka seems to be bowling quite well. They've got the Hasaranga there, none for 4 off them 3 overs. Was it 3 overs? None for 4. That's pretty good figures. So 351 of 8.4 overs is not what you call good. Bavuma is their weak link. Both from a captain's perspective, even their batting success, which set apart from England will making the semi from Group 1. Well, yeah, I have to say Australia at this point. You wouldn't think the West Indies can get up, but the West Indies will need to do something if they're going to be in there, but it's unlikely. They've had, 3 losses, haven't they? They're not in the hunt. Out of these two sides, I would have said Sri Lanka. Yeah. Miller has to bat well. He's still to come in as he yet. And also, Oz team look stronger on paper at the moment. Yeah. I'm surprised that they're going to go this well, actually, really. Fully expect the West Indies to do well. And somewhat Sri Lanka. Both are disappointing me quite a bit. No name Henlo is here. A long way from any certainty with this match. Sri Lanka's got reasonably good breaks on the South African total, but we'll have to wait and see. So this is game 25, game 26 to follow, which is what you could argue the bigger match. My take on Markham, the batsman. Look, he's very sound. Good test cricketer. ODI is not bad, but I didn't think he'd be a good T20 batter, but he's doing okay. He certainly is a good fielder. One of the better players. So Markham is, in fact, on 2 of 5, and Bavuma is 8 off 11. So they're certainly steady, probably trying to conserve wickets at this point in the innings. Oh, he's played a horrible shot and got away with it. Best bowling attack in the competition of South Africa. Oh, Shamsi certainly did bowl pretty well, and Norje is bowling well. Rabada hasn't had his best of days, but he's been good too, and Pretorius is pretty accurate. No, I wouldn't say they're the best team. Best bowling. So, I mean, really, the way Pakistan have bowled, the way England have bowled, and to a lesser extent Australia, they've certainly been the 3 standouts, in my opinion. Sri Lanka were very good. Some of the previous matches as well. Win and toss with the game. Muck, Tim, Wilton Davies, you're pretty well right. in this match, what we're seeing now, South Africa have got a bit of work to do. Although it is easy to run down. So Tim Tams, no. If you were to see what I'm eating, curly whirlies, rubbish. I shouldn't be eating them. Should not be eating it. They're not easy. So Untitled Chapter, does Australia stand a chance against England tonight? You would think not. Okay. You would think not. The way Pakistan was playing, the way they came back against Afghanistan yesterday, amazing. Pakistan are right up there now. It's as if India are not in the tournament. They only played the one game. Where are they? I'm fully expecting India to come home with a wet sail to beat New Zealand and beat the opposition. We've got Munchie's going to join us tonight. It is very good. Is it any good? Cadbury can't go wrong with their chocolates. That's true. Although curly whirlies, looks like that. It's rather chewy. Don't ask me why I bought them. Please don't. There's no reason why I should buy them. I think it might actually get better. I think England might be another close finish. I think England are too geared towards winning this. Nice shot from Maiden Markham, who's just put the ball through the mid-off region. It's frustrating with South Africa. They frustrate me. The selections are all wrong. De Kock was in and out. We know why. Faf du Plessis should be there. He's not. Very impressive shot by Aiden Markham. So the UK makes good chocolates. Cadbury, Roundtree, Terry's. Yep. Yeah, they're all good brands. Cadbury's is Australian, as far as I'm aware. Original country. This would be a good game. Aussie versus England. Aussie winning would fuel Ashes fire. A bit early, but yeah, it could be. Was Afghanistan wrong by batting first after winning the toss? Yes, they were wrong. They were wrong. They did well, though. The game went really well in Afghanistan's favour. Afghanistan at one stage had a chance of winning that match, but Asif Ali, my God, he's four sixes in the last over? Amazing. An amazing performance by Asif Ali. Beautiful, clean hitting. Aiden batting reminds him of Callis. Not that good. I wouldn't think he'd be in that sort of same league, to be honest with you. So we've got a rather quiet Saturday in Sydney today, actually. Very quiet in terms of the public arena. Looks like everybody was a bit too tired after the first 2 weeks of liberty or freedom, as whatever you want to call it. And effectively a bit quiet. So normally your favourite for the tournament. This tournament, my favourite. Look, I'm very impressed with Pakistan. There's no doubt about that. I'm not. You'd have to favour them in terms of results. But I still want to see India do well. They've got a very good chance. So they've got to just let them play the one game. They've got a chance to redeem themselves. So India versus Australia tosses it. Going to be, well, in the next 48 minutes. Okay, so imagine the Pakistan player had got the license to play in IPL. Asif Ali would have gone for millions, yes. American Hershey bars are so bad, I wouldn't feed them to my dog. Yeah, they're okay. Afghans came closer to defeat Pakistan than India did. Yes, that's true. Afghanistan did a very, very good job and should deservedly be high in the group. Maybe just missing out on second spot, though. Wait to see how India how India play. Look, Afghanistan, if they won yesterday, if Afghanistan won yesterday, we would have seen Afghanistan as the leader of the group. It didn't happen. Cadbury is from Birmingham, England. Oh, I thought Cadbury was also Australian. I'm sorry. There's a pretty substantial Cadbury presence in Australia. I don't know whether they're. Kellogg's cornflakes is a song. Coding Shiksha. 1 billion Indians versus 5 million Kiwis. Again, there's a World Cup quarterfinal, which time is the edge in this? India has not beaten New Zealand since 2003 in ICC tournament. I think India deserves to win. For some reason, they're showing a Sri Lankan scoreboard where Sri Lanka was 6 for 260 versus Kenya, who scored 88. I don't quite know. It's quite an old score. Jai Surya, Jai Mubarak, and some Kara batting. Oh. Hang on. Kellogg's is from the UK, US, my bad. Well, no. When you say Kellogg's is from the US, do you mean now or they originally came from Australia? That's the question. Get Fair Trade and Organic. What? Never heard of those brands. I'm a tough pick between England and Aussies. Angel Wing said, have to think England. UK and US are not different. We are not the 51st state yet. That's true. Very true. So South Africa 3 for 63 off some 10.2 overs. At this rate, they're just behind the run rate they need to be. But, you can easily pick it up. This is Sekshana, the bloke bowling, who was apparently 25 to 30 kilos overweight when he was younger, and he was told to lose weight, and he's done so. There's even a university named after Kellogg's in the US. Okay. Is there anything there about Australia? I just thought Australia were the originators of that brand. Morgan calls say the battle between the joint second teams. Morgan called the battle between the joint second teams between England and New Zealand or Australia and England. Australia, England. It must be Australia. England. Yeah, it probably is a fair comment. Oh, hang on. The joint second team. So if England and Australia are the second teams, who's the first team? That doesn't make any sense. Although let's just say Pakistan is what we're talking about as being the first. Maybe that's what they're saying. I guess Holden is from Australia. Many Ashes. You could say that. Manson boys joining us. How are you?
Hi, Norman. How are you, my friend?
Now, where are you? Are you in Greece?
I'm back home in England.
Oh my God! Even David Gravy's in Spain.
You see, it's nice. We had.
What is weather. This? I mean, don't you guys bloody work? Jesus.
Norman, how can you say that? Sitting there broadcasting every day.
Okay, I've got something to do at least.
Can I ask you something? And I've missed a few episodes. Are you still planning to get out to Dubai? You said you're going to try and fly out.
Yeah, I'm going to make that decision next week. Now Australia, as of November 1st, you can book flights without any permission to go, so you can leave the country. That's one. Secondly, on return, you can come back without quarantine as long as you are COVID-19 negative and all of that. So we're actually free. Is that the same in England? Yeah.
There's no red list countries now. They put a traffic light system in. All you have to do now, if you're double vaccinated, is do a antigen test when you get back, which shows whether you're clear or not. But you don't have to do any testing out in a foreign country, and just a quick antigen test when you get back. You'd be the same, I would imagine. They'd want you just to test when you get back to Australia, I would imagine.
Yeah, there's also another little twist. We do a prick test at the airport, which means Not
Oh.
if you are a prick at all, but more.
Yeah, me and you wouldn't have a chance, Norman, would we?
They'll ask us 3 questions already gone. No, no. But they actually give you a prick, blood test, go away, come back, and if there's no sign of the vaccine in the blood, you don't even leave the country.
All right. How long does it take
So,
then if there's a queue of people to do that?
oh, I don't know. It's a disaster. The thing is, it's all about the damn Pfizer dose, which is apparently only surviving 6 months in your blood. And that means that I'm luckily, I think mine was about July or something, so I should be okay. But if I was March, then I could have it out of my system, which means I could then not leave the country, which would be really annoying. So we do have these booster shots now available, so I might have one quickly next week before I go, if needed. So yeah, that's the only precursor. So the Debashis from Extra Time, he's already over there. So it's Bori Majumdar from Sports Today. Vic Run. There's a few people over there now, so I might go for about a week and a half, which would mean, I'd see the final and the semi-finals. That would be what I'd like to see. I won't see many of the other games, and I'm not going there for any specific game. I mean, can you imagine if, which is possible, India versus Pakistan? It's possible.
It is. There's some rather important games coming up. I think Pakistan have pretty much secured their place in the semi-finals. I can't see them losing to Namibia or Scotland. They might do, but so that means that India have to win their other group games. I don't think they can afford to lose another one. So every game's like a quarter-final for them, because I think if they lost to Afghanistan and or New Zealand, then that'll put them out, because I think Namibia and Scotland are going to be the whipping boys. Therefore, you can't afford to lose 2 games. Whoever doesn't lose the 2 games will probably go through. So India versus Afghanistan.
Asking me how many I've got. I had Pfizer twice. I finally got my mother to get AstraZeneca. She's had her first dose of that, which is thankful.
Yeah, I had AstraZeneca over here. To be fair, we weren't really given an option, but it doesn't matter. We just had whatever vaccine they were giving me. At some stage, you've got to trust the people who are giving you these things, haven't you? I mean, I don't know enough about it.
So, okay, you said Namibia is the whipping boy.
And Scotland.
They haven't done badly so far. They've actually won their games.
Well, they beat Scotland, and they got beaten by whoever else they played, didn't they? If they have. I think I cannot see, Norman, New Zealand or India losing to Namibia or Scotland.
No. I'm not suggesting that. I'm not suggesting that.
But what that means is that with Pakistan already having won, beating Afghanistan and India and New Zealand, I think they beat all 3, haven't they? They're not going to lose to Namibia or Scotland, I wouldn't have thought. Therefore, there's only one other place up for grabs. And if India were to lose another game, I'd be surprised if they can get through on that basis.
No, you're right.
It'll be really tight.
India, New Zealand is it. That's the quarterfinal, effectively.
Yeah.
Because if New Zealand lose that, having already been beaten by Pakistan,
they
won't be able to really make up ground, even if they win the last 3 matches.
Yeah, and Afghanistan aren't a terrible side, Norman. They played pretty well last night. It was only Asif Ali, I think I got that right. I mean, how about that? Hit 460.
Actually, I thought Afghanistan won that match. I thought they really did. But look, that Asif Ali was magnificent. Pakistan have got the clearest of mindsets. They just seem to know how to win. And is it because I'm wondering whether the presence of a Matthew Hayden and Vernon Philander, who seem to be quite well liked by Pakistan, is part of the key?
They're playing in conditions they know. They've got world-class individual players, and they're used to coming into every major tournament in complete turmoil. It's not unusual for Pakistan to be having complete turmoil before they come in, so that's nothing different for them.
No.
And if there's 1 or 2 things go right, which they are at the moment, that we talked about this, Norman, before the tournament, didn't we?
Yeah.
I think Pakistan are a massive dark horse to win it. I certainly had them in my semi-finals, and in fact, I think an India-Pakistan final is very much on the cards. Fine for the final, but
Your wife just locked out. She's shadowed.
yeah, she's upset with me because I'm talking to you, Norman. That you're better looking than her. That's the problem, and younger.
I will record this, and I will have to send it to her.
The only one stumbling block in that theory of an India-Pakistan final is, of course, that England have started off pretty well. Now, today,
is there something cheeky in this comment from Tim Wilton Davies? England will win the Ashes series 0-5. That usually tells me they're going to lose at 0-5. You don't win at 0-5, you win at 5-0.
Yeah.
Is there something that I'm not saying there?
I think Tim's on the wrong vodcast. He obviously doesn't know anything about cricket. I do think, though, the Ashes is a different talking point, isn't it, Norman? But I think with Stokes coming back in, that evens it up a little bit. I still don't think we'll win.
That's a huge thing.
But
it'll boost the whole.
But it's the balance. It balances our side so much better, which means we can afford to play a spinner, and we want to play a spinner. But before it was difficult to get him in because, you understand what I'm saying.
The Australian side, to be honest with you, really hasn't got anyone settled at all. Yeah. If they put Travis Head and Matthew Wade in, I'll blow up because they both should be on the outer. Dave Warner, I'm still upset with him. He scored 65 the other night. Okay. But he had the arrogance to say there's nothing wrong with his batting, and that was hilarious. We were knocking him. You're kidding me? And then he said he took the rest of the IPL time off to let other players, younger players, play. That's rubbish. He was captain. You don't take the rest of the series because you want other players to play if you were captain. You were sacked.
We discussed this last week. I think there's something not right with Warner. And it's funny, isn't it funny that, I've been around a long time. It's not the Aussie way to keep faith with someone who's clearly that much of a disruptive influence in the dressing room. And he isn't like, I'm pretty much sure you'll know this better than me. I don't think he's liked, is he, generally in the dressing room?
No, he's only seems to be able to be tolerated by the likes of a Steve Smith, and maybe Aaron Finch. But, he's Tim Payne and Justin Langer are not his fan, nor is the bowling attack, to be honest with you. Nathan Lyon and
I can only assume that the lack of quality at the top of the order has kept him in the side, because Aussies would normally can someone like that. You wouldn't put up with it. Normally, someone that divisive would be gone, I would imagine. But you're struggling a little bit at the top of the order, aren't you?
Pekoski's still got the head injuries. Khawaja's been getting several centuries during the summer, the early spring at least.
And you're a fan, aren't you, Khawaja?
Sorry?
You're a fan of Khawaja?
Big time. I think captain's Queensland, they won the Sheffield Shield last year. He's getting century now. Marcus Harris got a century against New South Wales just now. Curtis Pattinson's there. Jason Sanger. They've got a few coming through. They've got to go. They've got to move forward. They can't keep hanging on to players. Travis Head and Matthew Wade, if they come back in, I'll blow up. They're not. They shouldn't come back in. Even though Travis Head got some runs the other day, he had his opportunities. He didn't take them. It's time to give people a go, and Khawaja needs to return. The likes of, I would say, Curtis Pattinson, and if Pekoski, depends whether he's fit, and that's the problem. That's why Warner's still there. And look, he's 65. He got yesterday. He's now sitting there thinking, "Oh, I'm now in form again." I would not be. It's way too early to be saying that. He has a new bat company, DSC, Spartan, who I knew very well. He's not with them anymore. He got dumped by Gray Nichols last time around because of his brand was down. So South Africa are 3 for 85 after 13.1. They seem to be
win predictor. I'm watching it over the top of my phone as I talk. That's why I keep looking up. Win
Yeah.
predictor has it 50%, 50%, 50-50. So
Right.
tight game, this one.
It is.
Tight game. So
Well, if South
England have
Africa win
actually,
this,
yeah, so it's all up for grabs, isn't it? We said, didn't we, last week, that this is a group where it's probably a tighter group because sides can beat each other in this group. I didn't expect the West Indies over 50s to perform quite as badly as they've been performing, but
they've been terrible.
actually, to be fair,
Absolutely
Norman,
terrible.
I did think they were going to perform as
No,
badly
you
as they're
did say that.
performing.
I mean, look, I thought they were going to do better than they have. They haven't. They've been atrocious.
I
They've
think
been
poor
absolutely atrocious.
Chris Gale's probably got his swan song here, hasn't he? He's not looked
No.
in touch, and a few of the others had just looked a little bit off it. Look, let's face it, Norman, this is not their conditions. The West Indies, I don't think, have ever performed well in the UAE. It really isn't their forte, and that's just the way it is. Cricket is very much dependent on where in the world you play. Unlike a lot of other sports, it really, really matters in cricket.
Have a look at Group B for a minute. You got Pakistan on 6 points.
Mm.
Then the nearest team at this point in time is Afghanistan. They're all on 2 or nothing. Pakistan's just blowing everybody away.
I think that the way the fixtures have gone are not helping India. I think when you've had a defeat, you don't want to wait a week, at least a week, even longer before your next game. You want to get back on the horse straight away, a couple of days later, put it all behind you, get some points on the board. Whereas they'll be watching all these other sides playing their games. They're going to see Pakistan out of sight, and they'll know now the pressure will be mounting that they can't afford another slip up. And I don't think they will slip up because they're the best side in the world on paper. But as you know, 2020 cricket isn't on paper, and it's not really on form either, because in a 2020 game, one person can basically win the game.
It's funny, Afghanistan, they've got around 2 points. They've won one, lost one. But their net run rate is 3.09. 3.0. The rest of the teams are 0.6, and maybe some might get close to 1, but they're 3.092.
So they must have murdered someone. They
murdered Scotland.
Yeah, and that
they
because England did that to the West Indies. So England's run rate is like an extra point. If we've got a tight group, England's run rate already is getting them through to the semi-final in a tight group.
England's is 3.6.
I mean, that's because we've had two pretty biggish wins, one massive and one fairly comfortable.
England's winning their group. There's no fear about that.
Well, no, whoa, hold on. Today is a big game. Take out the 2020, take out the World Cup. Whenever we play our old enemy, and we love you, Norman, you know that, but it is the greatest sporting rivalry, certainly in cricket. Although people would argue that
as far as I'm concerned, broad bowling. Put it that way. You've got
but our bowling attack too shabby.
Ben Stokes
would Stokes be in the 2020 side, Norman? There would be an argument. He's a good player, but we've got some good options here. Our side's looking pretty good at the moment. Our bowling's looking decent.
Mills is fantastic.
He's good, isn't he? If it wasn't for 2020 cricket, he wouldn't be in the game at all. He can't play anything more than 2020 cricket because he's got a major back injury, and he just can't play 50 over or 4-day cricket at all.
Right.
So, and he's gone. I think he underwent back surgery last year.
I wouldn't say that about Munchie. That's terrible. But terrible thing. Oh, hello, Munchie.
I think I got some sound problems.
I can only assume that. I'm going to say this when he can't hear me. I can only assume Munchie's come on to criticise something I've said. Munchie's come on because he's upset.
Where's he gone? He's disappeared. I mean, those green screen backgrounds he's got leave a bit to be desired, I'm afraid.
The only good thing about having me between you and Munchie, Norman, is that it does make me look more like George Clooney than it would have done before.
Oh God! No, I'm not going to comment on that because I've got some fans.
Yeah, the blind ones and the old ones.
I'm just checking up. I've just got somebody sending me some videos, which Baram Irani saying, "Shame on the ICC." The submissions. some issues around ticketing.
God, there can't be issues around ticketing. There's no one in the stadiums, Norman. It's a shame, really, isn't it, to have a World Cup played in front of, I mean,
Well,
look at the game here. There's 20% in the stadium, if that, watching this game, Sri Lanka or South Africa.
Is it because they've got limited numbers that they can allow in the ground? Is that what it is?
No, I don't think so. I just think there's lack of interest out there.
Well, most of the cricket loving people in the UAE have to work, don't they? They cannot take time off work. They're kind of under the pump. They can't just take. They're not like us, people who can go and watch a game of sport at will.
But also there is a lack of interest when it's not either Bangladesh, India, or Pakistan, because there's a lot of expat communities there. I mean, the Pakistan-India game was fantastic, wasn't it? The crowd was great. It was a pretty amazing game. Crumbs. How good is Barbara? I know we spoke about this before at various times. He's a silky smooth player, isn't he, Norman? I mean, he's lovely to watch.
He's very calm. He's like a Williamson-esque.
Yeah, he is. I think
they've got a whole lot of other players on this side, though. That Asif Ali, as we saw, they've got players that really can stand up.
Wicket down, by the way. South Africa are not favourites, I would suggest, to win this. They need the Munchie out there to do some bowling.
Hello, guys. Sorry about that. Don't know what happened with the background and the volume there, so apologies for that.
How are you?
So where's your background? Where are you now?
That's the Philadelphia Cricket Club again. I tried to have a picture, obviously being in the Emirates, the World Cup, from my one visit only to Dubai. I was staying in the JW Marriott, and the lounge, which is on the 65th floor, had a good view over to the Burj Khalifa, and that was towering in the distance. And you think, hang on a minute, I'm 64 odd floors up, and this building's still towering above us. So
wasn't there a weight restriction for you, Munchie, having you up on the 65th floor?
It was surprising. The lifts took a long time to go up, but surprisingly quickly to go down.
Did it go down? Did it go down before it went up?
But in all seriousness, though, the lifts went down at such a speed, and from the height, your ears did pop. Yeah, it was quite impressive.
The same as you. Once I went to Burj Khalifa, and it's like that. You got up very fast, don't you?
As long as your ears with anything's popping.
Anyway, good afternoon, good evening, good morning to everyone.
Fella, how are you? All right.
Well,
I'm keeping well.
Now
busy.
it's effectively 12:05 a.m. here.
Oh, is it? What do you think about the current game? It's going to be tight for South Africa.
Let's take a step back, guys, and think about the series. We talked to you and I, Banster Boy, Reggie, about this. Bring Munchie in now. The series, Pakistan have certainly excelled. And I had Simon Willis on the other day. He talked specifically about Sri Lanka and his knowledge about the Sri Lankan team. But his first words were he quite strongly predicted Pakistan as a winner of the tournament before the tournament.
And then watching the Sri Lankan versus the Australian game, I was very disappointed in the Sri Lankans' performance. It was almost as if they were a rabbit in the headlights, certainly when it came to bowling to the Australian batsmen. They didn't perform. Perhaps obviously it was the toss, and perhaps that was in their mind as well, that they were trying to save the game. But I don't know. Yeah, but certainly Pakistan have looked very, very strong. If you look all round, they've got the batting, they've got some very good quick bowling, and they've got some good spinners. So they've got an all-round team. I think the only thing at the moment that's going to beat Pakistan is Pakistan themselves, because they do have a habit of playing brilliant at one time and then just being abject another game.
Well, they weren't great the other night, were they? It was only one particular sparkling performance in one over that got them over, really, the line.
But let's hang on a minute. Their three games have been pretty emphatic overall. Let's be honest. They've won and won well. Even against Afghanistan, even though it took 4 sixes in the last overs to get there, it's still in pretty emphatic winning. They, as you said, often defeat themselves, but they're in such a mood, and they got Namibia and Scotland next, and I'm sure they won't take the foot off the pedal. They're going to keep going hard. Yeah, and I reckon they're going to.
Those two deliveries that Shaheen Shah Afridi bowled to Rahul and Rohit were absolute beauties, Norman.
Oh God!
Well, the classic left arm delivery, aren't they?
Oh yeah, but play that. I mean, crumbs. They're against two of the best players in the world. They're not two bunnies going in that he's bowling those against. He's absolutely skittled. Two of the best players in the world. Don't you love watching that? A left armer swinging it back in and bowling like that is something to behold, isn't it? It makes your heart tingle, doesn't it, Norman?
Anyone at the top of the game, basically people having complete and utter control of the ball and what it should be doing, be it a Rashid Khan spinner or the seamer, it's great. And that's going to make it interesting for today, because when you look at the Australian team, and I was thinking about it earlier, I was like, well, you're making matchups, and both teams have got the left armour, so Tyrmel, Mills, Mitchell Starc. You've then got good right armers in Cummings and Hazelwood versus Jordan and Wokes, or Wood, depending on the team. You've then got the spinners, so you've got obviously Ali off spinner, Maxwell off spinner, Zampa leg spinner, Rashid leg spinner. So you can see the teams are evenly matched in terms of if you go with the teams that they've had before. So you're trying to see, well, where does one team shade it than the other? And you can see there are fine margins on it. So it's going to make for an interesting game.
I like Rashid as a better leg spinner than Zampa. I know Norman probably won't agree. I think Rashid is at the top of his game. He really is.
There's no doubt. But you must give it to Zampa. He has kept a consistency to his bowling. He's really impressed me, actually. They're not using sweeps, and for God's sake, I'm glad that he's absolutely terrible. Agar's not bad, but Zampa's a standout. And Maxwell's bowling well enough they don't need to put another spin on the side. So,
but they need another spinner, don't they, Norman? Don't they need one
Australia
more? England are playing three. England are playing three spinners.
Well, I was about to say, and I'm surprised Tim's not picked me up on this, because obviously Tim's an advocate for Liam Livingstone. So, who's he's not just another spinner or another what they call sometimes an add-on bowler, a make-up bowler. He can turn it both ways. He can bowl leg spin and off spin, and with the strength of the batting, he's a solid player in that team.
He's a future star of world cricket.
Livingston's the one. Livingston's the one that's maybe a bit of a dark horse. He could come into the play even more so as we get closer. He could really turn it on. Look, to me, and it's early, but Pakistan obviously winning Group B, okay? At this point on paper, with all the things we predict, India or New Zealand will be the second slot, okay? That seems to be pretty certain. On the other side...
Oh, no, Norman, I'm saying Afghanistan have got a little bit of a say in there.
Do you really think they're going to get through?
Yeah.
They're running.
I don't think they're going to get through, but I think they could.
I agree with Frizzle. Yeah, Afghanistan are lacking that out and out, not a gun quick, but a good pace bowler. I mean, you look at Mujib, you look at Rashid Khan, and you look at Nabi. You have got three quality spinners there, but when you bowled those overs, and then you've got really just gentle medium pace or slightly quicker medium pace. Good batsmen are going to play those around the park. So I think that's where they're going to fall over.
Yeah. I mean,
Shahzad's chubby. Shahzad's nice and chubby when he bats. I like his style.
God, love him to bits. Yeah, my sort of player. Yeah, reminds me. What's it? Cornwall that plays for the West Indies, and Reggie's favourite. Who is the guy that played for Bermuda? Magic diving catch. It slipped.
Brilliant.
Alderone or something.
The farmer, or whatever he was.
Defied gravity. Yeah.
Oh, what a player he was. Devron nearly had it. Devon answer. It was brilliant. It's like watching Norman play in those videos, Norman.
I'm more in Zaman Al Haq, thank you very much.
You run yourself out all the time.
He runs
I just get lazy and I stand and deliver.
You should see the Munchie last time. I saw Munchie try and run a quick single. He couldn't make it the other end.
That was uphill, downhill, a lot quicker.
I'm glad Chris is on because he could talk about when I fell over in his game.
By the way, South Africa are blowing this. I'm telling you, they are not going to win this game. They are needing...
They need 40 or 22.
They need nearly 12 and over. That's an ask, I would have thought.
And Shamira's a pretty good bowler. I like Shamira.
Yeah, he's got some pace on him.
Yeah.
Scary,
because even Bangladesh have got was it Takshin? He can crack it up a notch or two as well. So it's, if you're looking in that area, I think obviously Afghanistan are really out of that area in the subcontinent are the ones struggling.
That just between us three, not between anyone. That Tuscan had the hots for Strapali Cody. Just let you know. He made a play at her and then marry someone else.
Oh, you can't say that on live on air, Norman.
So it's live on air and recorded. Yeah.
It's in the cloud, Norman.
Shapali said that she had to push him away. He was going a bit hard there, I want to say. All right, okay.
So what do you think is going to happen today, Norman? What do you think? The Aussies going to be up? They're going to be, for a change, they're going to not be favourites here. When that's very unusual, England versus Australia, that Australia aren't
not
favourites.
in T20, it's not. They've never been favourites in T20 tournaments. Australia's never won Australia's never won an ICC T20 tournament. They're not notoriously bad at this. So, you might be right, but I look, as far as I'm concerned, England should win and win well. But as some of the commentary's been saying, winning the toss and bowling first has been an avalanche of victories, hasn't there?
Yeah, because of the dew. But it depends on whether the dew comes down or not. They don't know from one day to the next what the dew's going to do.
But still, 10 games, 2 that have not gone that way, and there have been games where I think it was the game between Afghanistan and Scotland. You wouldn't even consider that as a problem.
Yeah.
I just can't stand South Africa. Sorry.
I was going to say, Norman, is that the teams have had enough time while they're out there now to try and get used to the conditions. And so teams probably would have been doing net sessions, practice sessions later in the evening when that dew's coming down. And I think I mentioned a comment earlier in the week, and certainly David Willey had highlighted, is they were looking at possibly just getting some of their training balls, dunking them into buckets of water to get used to holding a wet ball and how they can deal with it. Now, the seamless is not too bad. Obviously, you've got to have a reasonably tight grip, but this is where the leg spin and the off spinners, if you really haven't got that purchase on the seam, you're not going to get that ball to rip. So it'll be interesting to see how they're managing it.
But these day games have been a bit, they've been inconsistent in terms of who bats and bowls first a little bit, but it still seems to be when the toss and bowl, and the teams that actually have not done that and then have been beaten, you scratch your head, don't you? I mean, we can go back as far as Kohli in the IPL. He did that. He batted first when he clearly should have bowled first, and they lost that match for RCB. So, there's got to be a sense. Almost everyone senses that win the toss and bowl. So it's been a common.
I think tonight whoever wins the toss will be bowling.
Yeah,
the toss will be
no doubt.
I could see if England, let's just big ifs, but let's hypothesize that if England, win the game against Australia, when they're playing the likes of Sri Lanka, they may actually opt to then bowl second to then try in a tournament conditions to get used to that. And similarly with Pakistan, when they are playing they've still got Scotland and Namibia still to play, they may choose to bowl second as well, just so that you can get used to those conditions in a match situation.
Yeah,
so that's very logical, Munchie. It's very logical. But you know what? I've got a theory which will go against that. You don't want to break up the momentum and the rhythm of a side. And if they're winning, and the way it happens, he's batting, bowling first and so on, I don't think we need to experiment. It's not like it's that far away from the finals. You want to be careful there because you want momentum to ride. You don't want Pakistan not necessarily to lose, but they may stuff up their rhythm. You don't want that. It's my only fear there. I get what you're saying.
What a catch. What a catch, Norman. Have a look at this.
I think you're a few minutes in front of me. Okay.
Mr. Bavuma has just wasted a game. I'm not a fan of Temper Bavuma in this form of cricket.
He shouldn't be a captain of the side. Oh, my God.
46 of 45 balls in a run chase in 2020 is too slow, in my opinion. 46 of 46. There you go. Run a ball.
Oh, that was a great catch. And that was actually caught by the guy that got 72 runs, actually, to Nissanka.
That's gone pretty flat, that.
Yeah.
That's nicely caught. Jumping
but
in.
When you have a captain, you saw what he said, didn't you? Bavuma said before his first match, I'm a little bit nervous. What the hell? You're not supposed to say that.
Oh, by the way, what great captaincy in the West Indies game the other day for putting Jason Holder at long on.
Oh, yes.
Of course you do.
One on the
Of course
game.
you do.
That would have gone for 6. Any other post on the fit? Well, mind you, Pollard and Russell quite tall. But generally speaking, that's 6 and the game's 1. And, so that was
fair catch. There we go. Yeah.
What I was going to say, let me throw.
How about that? No, who was the other catch? Was it Aiden Markham took a great one? There was a few great catches.
The one diving on the boundary.
Yeah.
So,
Who was that?
Good fielding, but there has been some good fielding.
Oh yeah.
Let me put this to you, Norman Munchie. If Pakistan are going to win their Group B, which I think they will, do you think that England would rather play them in the semi or India in the semi? And therefore, will that affect whether England want to win their group or finish second in their group?
I think, given the tightness of the group, I don't think
the
that
way,
England will just go. Yeah, England will just look to try and win the group. I think when you're trying to start playing around and we'll finish second, we'll play. I think at this stage, and we've said before, that when you get to the semi-finalists, they're all equally as strong. Okay, I think the West Indies disappointed me. I thought they would be a lot stronger, but England, Pakistan, and India were my 3 picks as well. Really, it's going to come down to the toss, a couple of wickets early on, and I think England. If England top the group, they won't care who they just want to go through to the semi-finals, and they'll play against who they're playing against.
I agree, but boy, England in India semi would not be what I can't believe that they would want that.
Well, you bet that Pakistan are strong as well. Yeah, and if anything, I would say that Pakistan, and perhaps people please correct me if I'm wrong, I think Pakistan will probably have more supporters in the Emirates than they would, than India would have supporters in the Emirates. And obviously this is effectively a home game for the Pakistan as well, as they've been playing most of their games out in the Emirates as well recently, which is a shame because I think people would like to see them back playing at home in Lahore and Rawalpindi, etc. So you've got to stamp Pakistan as favourites. So if anything, based on that, England play India.
Let's be honest. I mean, we're assuming India's going to hit form next match and continue on like we expect them to. And if that is the case, it's going to be an India-Pakistan final.
No, Norman.
No, when he gets to the semis, okay, you take those 3, as I said, England, India, and Pakistan. Yeah. When you get to that, because when people ask me who do you want, I said I can't tell you who's going to win it, because it's when you get to T20, you could lose a couple of early wickets and then it changes the whole momentum, the toss, etc. You just predict the semi-finalists. Now people have been saying England-Australia final. Some people are saying England-India final. Yeah, just predict the semi-finalists, because trying to predict who the final is going to be and the winner is going to be, it's like trying to predict the weather here.
Australia's not going to win this. I'm going to say it quite clearly now. Okay.
I hope you're right, Norman.
Oh, I can't. They're not going to beat Pakistan, honestly, and India on the day won't be. England maybe, but that's it. I mean, I really can't.
Ball, do you want live commentary? Leg spinner Hasaranga coming into Rabada. Pitch. Oh, he's got it. It's a big shout for LBW on a hat-trick ball. I've got to tell you.
I've got to wait 2 minutes now. Yeah, my feed is a lot slower.
I'm going to refer it.
Well, I'm still saying it hasn't quite come
Given not out, gone straight upstairs. He thinks he's out. The bowler absolutely thinks he's taken a hat-trick here. Yeah. And I'm telling you, it looked... The only thing that's saving Rabada here is if it pitched outside leg stump.
That looked out to me.
If it might have just be umpire's call on leg stump here, Norman, because it's the flipper. It's definitely a flipper, googly flipper. Oh, it's going to be hitting. It's hitting middle. It's absolutely hitting middle. But did it pitch just outside leg? This is going to be down to, could be umpire's call. He hasn't hit it, that's for sure. They always look at Altredge when he's missed that by 3 inches.
You know what's frustrating? The bowler's not even bowled it yet for the footage I'm watching. Yeah, that's how far I am behind.
Where are you on Sky? On Sky, Munchie?
It's Sky Go. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. It's pitched outside leg. I was right arm. I should be a commentator, shouldn't I?
Oh yeah, even just watching it on first view.
No, it's definitely outside leg, but that's a pity, isn't it?
It was middle. It was a wrong one, and Rabada like I would have done badly.
See, I understand the outside leg scenario regarding wickets being given or not, but when it's like that deserves to be given out, in my opinion.
No, I'm a left-handed.
And the rules you got to deal with it.
The LBW rule.
Rezul, sorry, it's a question you posed me directly. Sorry, SCG. I had one time there, and I was watching England versus Pakistan. Australia, Pakistan in the day-nighter, and I remember it so fondly because this was before all the developments. And I'm standing in the queue for beer, and the guy taps me on the shoulder, and I turn around. There's this mammoth of Australian behind me, and he looks at me and he says, "Apologies for the accent. Hey man, are you a pom?" I said, well, I am. I said, yeah, I thought so with that tan. Yeah. But obviously I'm there as a neutral, and it's just a fantastic environment to watch the game. And obviously, yeah, the wonderful old stadium, but that's my favourite ground in Australia. Yeah.
So South Africa are 114 for 6 off. Getting close to 18 overs. They've got very little hope, haven't they?
Yeah, they're not winning this. It makes the group quite open, I think, England's group. I really do. I think that
this is where run rate is key.
Yeah, England. We were talking about that just before you came on, Munchie. That England have got an extra point, and in a tight group where people are beating each other, that run rate could be. I don't think it's going to be as important in India's group with Pakistan. I think that's a less tight group. But I think here, I'll be surprised if England haven't done enough. But today,
I'm not counting the chickens. Let's get a result today, and then we can start.
Yeah.
Realistically, Sri Lanka still got a chance if they win today. They've still got a chance.
We spoke about this, didn't we, Norman, last week? That sides in this group. I'm surprised Bangladesh haven't quite performed as I thought. I thought they would have been a little bit better. They've looked a little bit off the pace, unfortunately. But
it just shows you how good they are in their own conditions. Yeah, they actually hammered Australia, but where the wickets are not deteriorating, and they're obviously they can't here because they need to play so many games on them. So they have to adjust the game, and some of the batting has been poor as well.
They haven't got the power bunch, have they? Their captain was talking about it, and these are some of these boundaries are a bit bigger, and they haven't quite got that hitting power.
This is literally the same score, not quite, but literally, somewhat literally the same score as last night when Pakistan scored 24 runs off the second last over. Right, they're 24 runs behind now. So if Asif Ali was batting, they'd be safe. They'd get it next over, but I don't think they're going to do it.
Or Munchie, Norman. Have you ever seen Munchie clobber a cricket ball? He could win it for him.
But that Asif Ali shocked me, didn't he? He was amazing.
And the bowler put it in the slot though, just straight through the arc, and that was it. Just deposited it. You think, well, if that's his a bit like Pollard, front foot down, swing through the line. So, did they not think perhaps drop it short of a length?
So once he hit for six, once a bowler when he's hit for six, generally works out the line to bowl the next delivery if he's got any
sense. Do, yep. Or sometimes like myself, they just see the little red rag to a bull, and you just want to bowl it faster and harder and knock the batsman over. Yeah.
Not you, Munchie. Did you ever see red rag to a bull, Munchie? I can't believe the red list came down on you when you were bowling. God.
Steam coming out.
He couldn't talk to him, Norman. You couldn't talk to him. You had to stay away, otherwise you get a volley of abuse. It was.
No, Reg, I gave you abuse all the time. That's just when the ball went for 6 or not. Yeah.
I was crafty. I used to bowl when the umpire let me when the batsman wasn't ready. So the batsman was looking down at his stumps, at his feet, and he looks up and the ball's on him. I do that a lot.
Slowly, you mean, Norman? The ball's on him slowly.
It's a hell of a lot faster when he's not. He doesn't know it's on him yet. It becomes certainly faster.
Yeah. Actually, there's a guy used to. Sorry, Norman, after you. Sorry.
I was going to say that I've got a great dismissal, literally frame by frame, of me on the SCG taking my mate Johnny Walker out that way. It was great.
Yeah, because there was a guy we used to play, Milroy, I think his name was Milroy, but he would literally bowl off 2 paces. He would just come in, roll his arm and bowl. And it was just so off-putting because as a batsman, you get used to a bowler running in. Even with the spin bowler, they would come in 2 or 3 paces, but this was like 2 paces, bang, and on you. And it wasn't particularly quick, but it was just disconcerting that you almost didn't prepare yourself, almost getting into the mindset, your trigger motions, etc. So perhaps sometimes that is the key. Yeah.
Well, that's my forte. I bowl my over a hell of a lot quickly because it's just a couple of steps, boom, couple of steps, boom, couple of steps, boom, and I turn around and start bowling. The batsman's not even got his shoulder in place yet. He's kind of not sure what's going on.
It's going to be a YouTube sensation, isn't it? Next time you're over in England, Norman, and it's Munchie bowling to Norman, and vice versa. It could be the number of views.
Well, 2023, there'll be an Ashes tour to England, and I'm there on a tour, and we'll arrange a game of cricket. Okay, that's
Well, I'll tell you what, Norman, if you're coming over for that, we'll get you into our honorary old boys team that we play. Hopefully they'll still have the game. It's one of the local villages asked us a few years ago to put a team together of some old boys, and it's such a good crack. So we'll try and arrange it for you the same time. Come be an honorary member of the team.
Old being the operative word, Munchie.
Oh, definitely old.
Right. That's what I'm definitely coming in 2023 to England.
We do have some youngsters as well because they have to do the fielding for us. Yeah.
No, I'm going to be there for a elongated Ashes tour. I'll spend a bit more time in England. I'm coming into a bit of extra cash in June of 23, so I'm going to go nuts. And I'm going hopefully to Dubai next week.
Good.
And I'm going to Tripali. Now, if you guys had time, you can come to Sri Lanka in December because Tripali is opening up her fitness centre.
Oh God, we wouldn't be allowed in.
Yeah, really, Norman? It's just the before photograph, isn't it? Yeah, with before photograph, we spend 6 months there, and there's an after photograph. Yeah,
and we'd be eating cake in the opening ceremony. That's what we do.
They'd have to get the wide-angled lens.
Yeah. So she's going to be there. We're going to have a few dignitaries. I think even Lasith Malinga's coming, and these people. Cool. So she'll get a few people to go.
You're going to be in Sri Lanka for that, Norman?
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic! Lovely place.
Early December.
No, I just want to answer a question. Rezal's been talking a lot about Adam Gilchrist. Okay. I've not met Adam Gilchrist. I hugely respect Adam Gilchrist. And actually, 2007, I was in the West Indies for the Cricket World Cup, staying at the same hotel as Australia, South Africa, Scotland, and the Netherlands. And I met a lot of the Aussie players. Went to see Glenn McGrath, shook his hand. Lovely man. Scared the crap out of Ricky Ponting by shaking his hand. That surprised him for a bomb. But the one player that I didn't get a chance to meet, and I would love to, is Adam Gilchrist, because I have the utmost respect for him as a player. The way that he played the game, and even his commentary. And from talking to Aussies as well that come over, perhaps Norman, you could reiterate it. He's generally a liked man. Whether or not he would be coaching, I don't know. Yeah, because he's certainly got a great commentary career, and I remember one of the Big Bash games. He was in the commentary box, and there was a guy on the field said, "Right, now back to the commentary box, and let's talk to Adam." And Gilly said, "Adam, yeah. My wife and my mother only call me Adam. Everyone else calls me Gilly." Yeah, and that's just, I think that's the mark of the man. Yeah, I love him. Yeah.
Well, I've met him many times, but I've got some great memories of one time in the lift when he didn't know me. I must admit, he didn't seem to know me. We're in the lift. It was just he and I, and he goes, "How are you today? What are you up to?" And he wanted to talk to me at length, unabashed. No need to do that. We had a long chat, and he just was so upbeat and so natural. And honestly, there are not many cricketers these days that would do that. I mean, certainly Mark Wall wouldn't do that. Steve Wall would be only shy, but he would probably do that. It's just he's such a rare person. Adam Gilchrist is honestly nice. He and Simon Kadich is probably right up there as well. They're both extremely nice.
Yeah, I think it's on YouTube. But if you look for it, there was an interesting documentary of Adam Gilchrist when he turned up to play Surrey League. And there was a news crew went to him. He was still a teenager then, and he was talking about getting involved in the club that he was playing at. So it was quite interesting. And that was a kid, and you can see that mentality.
Was he at Weybridge or somewhere like that? Munchie, do you remember?
I don't know exactly. It was a little while ago, but I remember seeing the documentary and just thinking, interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. There's one kid that's playing for Pakistan, Harris Ralph as well. Harris Ralph is a nice kid. I think I've told you his story, haven't I?
He's really come through this tournament. He's been bowling some serious heat as well. I think he was matching Nohir as well. Both of them about 153.
He was getting.
Yeah. Game on, by the way, guys. 8 off 4. They just hit a big 6. Mr. Miller has just hit one out the park here.
I'm still got 15 off 6. Yeah.
Oh, but he's just hit one literally out the park, right in the slot. It's a bad ball, but he's massacred it. So this is going to be it's squeaky bum time, as we would say.
Actually, talking about squeaky bum time.
There's Chaminda Vass is the bowling coach is showing him.
Yeah.
Must have had the toss in the England-Australia game by now. Let's quickly get crick info up.
They usually run over. They usually run over to it at the end of the other game, don't they? Do they delay it?
No, the toss is half an hour before, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's due now.
Nice pun there, Norman. Yeah.
I'm just wondering if they delay because this game. Are they going to just delay it so they can take it live?
No. Shouldn't do, because the team's got to prepare, haven't they?
Here we go. Third ball of the over. In the slot again, and Miller's just dispatched it out the park again. I cannot believe that he's bowled
6.
2 balls straight in the slot.
Was it a 6?
Yep. I'm what is Sri Lanka doing? It's honestly, I can't tell you. You wait till you see the 2 balls he's just bowled.
I've
What?
seen the first one.
Well, he's bowled the second one exactly the same place, Norman. It might have been even a little bit fuller, and it went in the same place.
Oh my God!
It's interesting because Miller's done nothing this tournament and just suddenly given the opportunity. That's all you need. Yeah.
Leg stump in the slot, and Mr. Miller has put it in exactly the same place. I can't tell you. It's really, really poor bowling. I mean, you was watching DJ Bravo bowl 2 nights ago, and that was exemplary of where to bowl it at this stage. He was pitching it almost on the return, the side mark line, wasn't he? And it's really hard to hit those for 6. You know.
And even if it's a full banger at there, yeah.
Someone's saying that
slot.
Someone just said that the Sri Lankans joined the hat trick club. They didn't get a hat trick.
No, but it was close, wasn't it? It just pitched outside.
Yeah, but you can't join the hat trick club. You don't get the last wicket, right?
No, I'm not there. I've never taken a hat trick in cricket. I don't think I've ever taken 3 wickets actually.
You have, Reg.
I think
I've got a miss-shell, which really annoyed me. Yeah.
Thank you, Munchie. I did take a 5 for Kent League 5 for. Thank you, Munchie. I wouldn't have remembered.
Really upset me. Just
they've got
Rezo,
one run.
Sorry.
1 run off 2 balls. Damn it.
Yeah, this keeps Sri Lanka. This will put Sri Lanka out and keep South Africa in the mix, I would imagine, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but South Africa aren't going to go any further. Are you kidding me?
No, but it's keeps them in the mix, doesn't it?
I guess.
Rabada facing. I'm gonna a quick live commentary.
Yeah. See, South Africa have got some good bowling. I mean, Rabada and Nohir are solid, very quick, but they're let down by the batting. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, where's Faf du Plessis? He had a cracking IPL.
I know, it's terrible. It's a quota system problem with him, I'm sure.
They get fed up with it after a while, don't they? So he bowled this ball short and wide-ish, and Rabada just top-edged it over the keeper's head for 4. South Africa win. I imagine now they'll go straight to the toss for the other game. I imagine that's how they'll do it.
England won the toss and a fielding.
There's a surprise, Norman. That's a good toss to win, I think. That's a very good toss to win for England.
England have won the toss and they are fielding.
If they win today, that's them. That's 2 of the semi-final places done and dusted, I would suggest.
Oh, no doubt.
Because England will be 3 from 3. They could afford to lose 1 game if they needed to.
So
and they would have. And they would have
unchanged.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I feel a bit sorry for Mark Wood, but the way England are playing, why would you change it?
So England England won the toss and elected to bowl.
Yeah. We knew that.
Australia haven't got a hope. I'm sorry.
Okay. England have elected to chase Norman. There we go.
Don't say that.
Are we predicting an Aussie 55 all out here, guys?
You don't elect to.
I know, Norman. I'm just teasing. I'm teasing.
Of Australia unchanged, Norman?
They're not saying it yet. No, Agar's in.
They had to play an extra spinner, Norman. They had to.
But they've dropped Mitch Marsh.
Well, because he's shouldn't be inside in the first place, Norman, should he?
Yeah, no, he shouldn't be. But isn't it funny? They were lauding him to be the big star for this tournament, and he's number 3 batter in the order, and now he's not even playing in the team.
But hold on, what does that do to their batting? Their batting wasn't their strength anyway, and that's weakened.
Pat Cummins is coming in 7 now.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a long tail. Yeah, I mean, okay, Cummins can hold the bat. Ashton Agar, he can bat as well. But yeah, when you consider, you look at England's the 2 lineups up. Yeah.
Look at England's batting lineup. What is Livingston coming in at 6 or 7? I mean, crikey, that guy can absolutely mash it, Norman. If you didn't see much of him in the 100 over here.
I've seen the BBL.
Coming in 8. Yeah. Livingston was brilliant in the BBL. Yeah.
Look. And don't forget the T20 World Cup next year is in Australia too, which
I'm looking forward to that. It'll be fantastic. Oh, we got an invite to come out and join you, Norman. Eyes on Cricket live at the World T20.
Well, you guys will be on. You'll be on program. Don't worry about that.
I want to join you live in the studio, as it were.
I've got the team sheets here actually.
Yeah, well, we're talking about that. Some of the comments. Yeah, Rezel, Ben Stokes coming back. Brilliant to hear. Hopefully that finger is fully recovered. I think actually some of the players might have known in advance, because Nathan Lyon, certainly from the Australian side, he said he thought Ben Stokes would come back. So there's obviously some sort of chat going amongst the players about Stokes coming back. But he not only does he strengthen the team, it's the morale, and people want to be playing against the best players, especially in the Ashes.
The balance.
Yeah, definitely the balance. So
did you hear, Norman? Did they report out there what the problem was with his finger? Did you hear what the problem was?
No.
He'd had the first operation, and when it healed, the ligament fused with the scar tissue.
Jesus.
So he couldn't, and that's why he was in such pain. He couldn't move it because the finger wouldn't move at all, hardly, and he was in absolute agony. And of course, when he talks about taking time off for his mental health, I would imagine that's all to do with the pain he was in. He probably was told by the specialists, your finger's going to get better. And he was thinking, I'm in absolute agony. Your brain's gone fried because of it. Because he's thinking, we thought Munch. I know will back me up on this, because I know he's had some severe injury problems like I have. When the specialists say, "Don't worry, we've done it. It's all going to be better," and you're thinking, "There's something wrong here. It's not right," and you don't want to say anything because they're telling you it's all right, and your mind is going, "But there's something wrong. There's something wrong." I imagine that affected him big time.
Oh, for sure.
You know, so. Now, the minute he had that second operation, and it was clearly a success, straight back on the plane to Australia. Did you notice? 3 days after the operation, he put a picture of himself on social media holding a bat and a ball. Now, it was clear that all this about mental welfare and everything was all linked with his finger injury.
But at the same time,
that's the best thing that's happened. He's got a big break and everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
But at the same time, if you consider that during that period of time, we've had the COVID issues. He's also lost his father, who was very close to. And so, plus the finger, obviously, added on to that. And he just wanted a break, And I think perhaps we just don't. And certainly, might be where the Indians team might be struggling. Is players in this constant bubble, and some of them are just saying, "Well, we can't leave the hotel room." Yeah, you're stuck there. And if you're going from one tournament bubble to another tournament bubble, so India were over earlier for the series in the summer, then they go to the IPL, and now they're in the World T20. It's got to have some sort of impact on the players when all you want to do is to go home and be with your family. Joss Butler had a good little time away.
Sorry, Aaron Finch, Warner, Smith at 3, Maxwell 4, Stoinis 5, Wade 6, Cummins at 7, Agar at 8. 9 Mitchell Stark, 10 Zampa, and 11 Hazelwood. Okay, that's and the so-called 12th man is Mitch Marsh. I tell you what, that's such a strange thing when you think should have been talking up Mitchell Marsh being the go-to batter at number 3, and he's not even in the team.
And let me ask you a question, Norman. I saw some footage the other day where Stark looked injured in the nets. He literally, they ought to carry him out the nets, and he played the next day. Has he got a problem slightly, do you think? Or is that just a little bit for the cameras?
No, I think he does have an injury, but look, they're only bowling 4 overs. If you get enough needles before you go on, he can last you 4 overs.
They had to carry him out the nets, didn't they? That's what I saw. It looked really bad.
Well, if they lose him, they're in deep trouble. Okay, so the England side is obviously Butler and
Roy
opening with Milan at 3, Morgan. They're saying Morgan at 4, Bairstow at 5. They're saying 6 is Livingston, 7 is Ali, 8 is Wokes, 9 is Jordan, 10 is of course Rashid, and 11 is
we've got 9 batsmen there.
It's a strong team, and you'd say that's based on that, you think, okay, it'll be better than Australia. But you look at some of the finer margins, and I think Australia's seam bowling is slightly better. England's spin bowling is slightly better. Warner is explosive. Finch is explosive, and both of those are likely they can get runs, etc. I still have my reservations about Steve Smith. He's a great Ashes batsman. Don't get me wrong for that. Long form game, but you've never really seen him doing the BBL. It hasn't really been played. Not really seen it doing the IPL either. It doesn't really suit his style of game. He just likes to accumulate runs, somewhat unconventionally, but he still does it. Whereas I don't really see him as a power hitter. Not like a Glenn Maxwell, for example. Stoinis can blow hot and cold, so there are some weaknesses there in the Australian team. But on the day, 2020, you lose 2 or 3 quick wickets, the game completely changes. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Oh, look, I mean, I know I've been damning Australia all the way along, and they've done better than I expect them to do, to be honest with you. I think they've gone beyond their initial expectations. Let's be fair. Australia would not expect him to be in the semi-finals, to be really honest with you, if they were true to the name. Hazelwood's been a bit of a revelation. Zampa's played well. Warner came home in the last match, but it's far from saying that that they're going to win.
Perhaps somebody, the guys from India, perhaps they can post some information. Obviously, Sam Curran, when he came back to Surrey, was saying how much of an influence Dhoni had been when he'd been the Chennai Super Kings, and teaching you about the game, the finer points, what to do T20, and looking for things. Has there been any feedback, or Hazelwood said anything similarly when he's been at the CSK? Because when I look at Hazelwood's bowling, I think of him mainly as a great long form game, because he's bowls that heavy ball, good height, and just on line and length. But of course, in the short form, the white ball game, you want line and length because you're going to hit through the ball. But he's managing to he's got some variations now. So how much of that has been an influence by MSD?
Subtle changes of pace, isn't it? With Hazelwood, I've noticed he's clever, isn't he? He's a clever bowler. He's a good bowler. Crikey, I hope he gets injured for the Ashes. Just don't miss. Give us a shot.
No, I want. You want the two strongest teams playing.
Well, we'll lose. Actually, that's the problem.
No, you can't say.
I'm very happy they got Zach Crawley. I'm happy they got Darwin Milan. Those guys will do well in Australia.
They won't play Crawley. I'll tell you, England's for once are going to have a solid. Now that Stokes is back in, it solidifies what the batting will be. I can guarantee you that Milan will bat 3, Root 4, Stokes 5, Pope 6, and Butler 7. There will absolutely no doubt that's what they will do.
Who's going to open?
It'll be Hamid and Burns.
It has to be.
See, I would prefer Hamid and Zach Crawley. I just Burns worries me all the time. Just such an unconventional style.
But he's got credit in the bank, Munchie. He didn't have a terrible.
I thought you just said Munchie. I heard unconventional bitch. That's not what you did.
No.
There
are too many things that can go wrong. And I said this before. During the summer, his arse is sticking out one way, the bat's sticking out another way. It's just all coming through. Whereas
are you talking about cricket or some movies?
I am talking about cricket. Yes.
Yeah.
But you look at more technically gifted batsmen who are more correct. They're generally straight down the line. It's a very simple technique. Your eyes behind the ball, and you get in line. You can play the shot. Whereas Burns' starting position, it's just I don't know. Makes me feel uncomfortable every time I see him.
Do I have to remind you of people like Chanderpaul and even Phil Hughes, the way he batted? I mean, they were quite unconventional.
Oh, yeah. And even Steve Smith and Labuschagne, to give the correct South African pronunciation. Very unconventional, but they get runs. But it's just, unfortunately, Burns is not in that category. Same with Sibley. Definitely not in that category.
I want to see Labuschagne fail. I'm sick of him. He annoys me for some reason. Really don't like him. Bring Khawaja back. Bring Jason Sanger in. Curtis Patterson. But Labuschagne bores me. He's got this annoying, I want to be Steve Smith way of batting.
One of the best players in the world. He's a great player.
He's annoying. Come on, he's annoying. He just
because he's so
annoys
good.
me. I don't know. Have you heard Andrew Simons and Shane Warne go to town on him? They can't stand him. They bagged him, and they didn't realise they're on mic. It's very funny. He's annoying. Trust me, he's annoying. We should ask Adam Hollier because he coached him. Adam will tell us. Apparently, he's as annoying as hell.
Adam's been not on a lot since he predicted 7-1. Since you predicted 7-1 in the Test series, Norman.
Adam's been running a boxing tournaments all through. He's been as busy as hell. Don't worry. He always replies and says he can't because of this, he can't because of that. He's been constantly monitoring, and don't worry.
Yeah.
And Monty's on.
So no, I
Once
was
he's
just
on
saying
air.
it was great to hear Simon recently. I know he's been very busy during the summer, but when you got these players that have played the game at the highest level, it just the experience and knowledge that they bring, it's very interesting to listen.
Don't worry, when it comes to Australia versus England Ashes, I'll have a bucket load of people come.
Is Grav coming back on at some stage, Norman? I know 2020.
Well, he was meant to come today, but he's in Spain.
Was he playing golf?
I'm thinking it's. But Grav was on a few days ago. He's been on.
I must have missed that one. Yeah.
He came on.
Yeah.
He talked to. When was the game he came? Last time England played. When did the last England play?
Oh, Wednesday, I think.
He was on Wednesday.
Yeah.
He came on for that.
Yeah. Norman, I'm surprised you've not mentioned Ashley Mallet and Alan Davidson. Their sad passing.
Yes, I'm glad you reminded me of that. Very devastating because, in particular, Alan Davidson I knew very well. We played a number of games at Pratton Park, which is the old Western Suburbs District Cricket Club, where Michael Clark and Alan Davidson himself played. And we would have a lot of old boy games there with a guy called Daniel Lane, who's a journalist here. We'd have Balmain versus West, which is two football teams that had played cricket. Then we'd have Australia versus England. And Alan Davidson, up until the age of 85, used to play in that match, which is quite incredible. So he's 92 now.
Yeah.
So he only stopped playing, but he would always turn up for the tournament. He was a great guy. I've interviewed him a few times. Magnificent man. I'm very lucky because I've got very close to Arthur Morris before he passed. Alan Davidson. I'll go to his memorial. It'll be probably held at the SCG. I've got a great photo of Alan Davidson, which I posted underneath his own gates, attending the Arthur Morris funeral. And they were great. I mean, Ashley Marrett was another well-loved player. He's of that same Doug Walters, Jeff Thompson era. He was knockabout like that. That's a great, that team. Mallet, Walker, Walters, Thompson, Lilly, Marsh, Chappells. Great quality of group that was. So, yeah.
Not a full bar in the country. Yeah.
They both passed away literally in the same day.
Yeah, Friday and Saturday. Yeah.
Yeah, both. Well, yeah, and then we also lost a guy called Bert Newton, who's a famous television personality. He's not a cricketer. Yes, that was very sad. It was Alan Davidson's. He played, of course, in the Tide Tests. Was good friends with Wes Hall and the likes of Garfield Sobers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously Richie Benno played. Richie Benno was a good mate of Alan Davo as well. Davo was known as Davo. He used to turn up and he used to crack. He wouldn't stop talking. You think I talk a lot? Oh my God, he talked his head off. I had this amazing Pratton Park. It's a lovely, quite an old ground and intimate. You have all these ex-football players there, like a guy called Mick Lebinskas, who's a good mate of mine. He was there, and we've got Davidson there, and you've got a whole host of old players. Noel Kelly was a football player. They were all sitting there. It was great to listen to them chat. It was just very special and amazing man. He was an administrator for 20 years for the SCG Trust. He was a selector, obviously played for Australia. Neil Harvey's still alive. But otherwise, Alan Davidson was in the same bracket as him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's very sad. Once Neil dies, hopefully it doesn't happen soon, that era is just about gone.
Yeah. I'm sure hopefully both teams will pay their respects today. Yeah.
I'm sure they will.
Certainly Australia will, but I'd like to see England do it because, he was a known class player of the time. So you always like to see the cricketing community get together on that side. Yeah.
Well, New South Wales played Victoria today at Drummoyne Oval, which is my local ground, actually, from my team I'm involved with. Drummoyne Oval is where Sydney Cricket Club play. And they all wear black armbands, actually, for that. So.
Yeah. I would be amazed if England don't show respect because it's a friendly rivalry between England and Australia, surely, between the players. They like each other generally, don't they? They get on well, I think. Yeah.
And Davison was somebody who would always have a good chat with people. He'd talk to anyone, actually. He was one of those special characters that you... It's actually hit me pretty hard because I knew Arthur Morris and Alan Davidson. Both of them have got gates at the SCG, which is a big deal at a ground like the SCG.
Oh, yeah.
There's one gate that's not named yet, and I pretty much know who that's going to be, Neil Harvey. When it gets put up, it's sitting there waiting to be badged. But no, I remember joking with Alan Davidson when he walked through his own gates. He goes to me, Oh, these are I better lose a bit of weight. The man that would be big enough for me. It was just so funny.
Munchie has the same problem, Norman.
Oh.
But his gates are right next to the members' entrance. Actually, it's a very prestigious spot, and you can see Steve Orr's statue straight through as well, which is quite impressive. Steve Orr, when he goes past his statue, is very embarrassed every time.
Yeah,
another humble guy. But and he was on my show with an episode not long ago and with a partner. So I was very, very happy.
How is your partner, Norman? Have you seen a partner? Is she well?
Plenty.
Well, I knew plenty, but I just wondered. I meant on the show.
Yeah, she was on the show last night. I saw her. We went and had dinner somewhere the other day together, and another friend of mine,
Lothario, Norman. You really are.
I actually saw Rapakshi today. Oh God, that was a disaster. You know what I did? I made a big mistake, really big mistake. Rapakshi walked past what they call a surf dive and ski shop, and she saw a pair of roller skates, and I bought them for her. Now she'll be rampaging around. She went around Westfield shopping centre on roller skates. Hilarious. I'll send you the video. It's quite funny.
I haven't been able to send any questions at all. I'm on my mobile. I can't get them.
Anuj is giving England some grief because we're lucky at winning the toss. So I think, it is just luck.
But hold on. Is that lucky winning the toss? I suppose it's a 50-50 call, isn't it? I mean, the Aussies would have done the same thing. You know, they would have bowled as well. So
with a name like Lucifer Johnson, not only younger than WG, of course I'm younger than WG. Lucifer, does that mean devil?
Yeah. I can't see that. You have to read them out if I want a response. I can't see them at all.
Lucifer's asking if Norman is younger than WG.
No, he's
Norman's beard before it got trimmed was getting there for a WG. It was very impressive.
It was very impressive.
I think give it a couple of months and Norman could have been doing a second job as a Santa Claus or a Father Christmas.
Yeah.
Santa Claus.
I want to ask the Indian people watching and supporters watching, how does Ashwin not even get in the 2020 side? He couldn't get in the Test side. He's the best player in the world. Well, certainly one of the best 5 players in the world, in my opinion. And he can't even now get in the 2020 side. I think wrong.
People have been saying that his fielding is letting him down, or they're using that as an excuse.
Well, he should be West Indian because he'd be one of the best fielders in the side for the West Indies.
Whether it's still a carryover or hangover rather from the Indian series, where there was obviously some issues internally, I don't know. But yeah, if the guys have got other comments they would like to make, perhaps more informed than ours, then it'd be great to hear them.
Let's be honest. He took 2 wickets or 2 or 3 wickets in the first warm match against. Who was it against? It was against Australia and smashed them.
He got wickets in the first game. Did he play in the first game out in the bowling? No, in the warm up. Yeah, sorry, warm up. He played one game.
They smashed them.
Yeah, it did. I just don't get it, Norman. I
don't get it either.
When in a tournament where in the venues spin is playing a massive part, and a lot of sides are opening the bowling with spinners, you've got the best spinner in the bloody world, and he's not getting a game. But
it's balance, isn't it? It's we mentioned it before, and is he going to give you the bat and the ball, and who would you drop from the Indian team? I think probably Pandya would probably be the easy one, but Pandya likelihood he's not going to give you the bowling, but certainly the batting.
Yeah, but Bhuvanesh Kumar as well, maybe. I mean, I don't know.
Bhuv is solid. He's accurate. I like him. Yeah.
I reckon it's got to do with he's having a problem with Kohli, to be honest.
There must be something going on. There must be. I just cannot. It just. I don't get it. But can he not get his British nationality sorted out, and then he could come and play for us for the next 5 years? I mean.
That's not hard for you guys to do. You've done it with quite a few players in the past.
Oh, here we go, Mr. Labuschagne.
Where does Labuschagne come from?
You're going to tell me.
We should go back there, as far as go back to this.
Anuj, you're right. Livingston, he is a threat. Yeah, he's batting because Anuj is just pointing out that Livingston's career economy 6.2 in T20. He can bowl leggies, he can bowl offies, and he's batting as well.
He's a serious player.
He's a serious player. Probably his nickname in the team's Bertie, because sometimes we call people Bertie Bassets when they've got lots of little all sorts and different mixes of deliveries and ability to play the game. Livingston's a quality player, and you saw him in the BBL last year. He can smack that ball miles.
He's waited a long time to get in England set up as well. He's 28 years old, and he's been around.
Yeah.
for a long while.
If someone wants to look on YouTube, look for the England-Pakistan series early this year. Livingston hit one out of Headingley.
Oh, that was a great shot.
It just hit it out of Headingley
120
over the
meters,
grandstand
they reckoned.
into the rugby pitch. The next, it was massive. Yeah.
120.
Did you see the
meters.
comment? Coley's been quite scathing in the media today,
About?
saying that spineless and pathetic. Coley slams trolls who target Sharmy.
Yeah, agree.
Yeah, they
They
are.
just got to ignore it. It's you said it the other day, Norman. When we were on last week, someone mentioned social media, and you said they've just got to get on with it. It's the world. I mean, don't do it.
Absolutely. It annoys me that they're even
ignore it.
Why are we even talking about it? They should be just saying, ignoring it completely.
Yeah.
If you ignore it, they go away.
I think the Shami was being picked out because of his Muslim heritage, as opposed to the other Indian players, which is wrong. You can criticise some for poor performance, but you can't criticise them just because they're not the right religion of the one that you may have, for example. That's ridiculous. Yeah,
Munchie, but it's only offensive if you read it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Look, it's actually the same. I'm going to be quite controversial here. The fact that Quinton de Kock didn't bend his knee after the match is not any different to a social media person slamming Sharmy. If we just ignored that, it wouldn't be of any concern. I agree with that he shouldn't have done it. Okay, I agree with that. But if we ignored it and not televised, not talked about it, it would have had even less impact.
But it's a massive topic at the moment, though, Norman. That's the problem. Journalists want to fill column inches.
Yeah. But
you understand my point, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
If we ignored the trolls, they would go away. If you ignored what Quinton Kock to get good or bad, it would go away. But the fact that we make a big deal about it only brings it to the fore even more.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does, and Anuj is right. Shami's got an A+ career economy, and Shami is another one that likes putting it in the slot, very metronomic, and so therefore when you get to T20 white ball, he's easier to hit, and that's a reason perhaps he shouldn't be playing. Nothing to do with the religion. Completely correct, Anuj. I agree with you.
He's opening the bowling with Rashid. There you go. That's Morgan. That's why he's the best captain in the world. There you go. That's a controversial comment. Moeen Ali's been taking the new ball right the way through every game. We're playing Australia. He's got to bowl at Finch, and he's going to bowl Rashid to turn the ball away from Finch, I would imagine.
I seem to have a 2-minute delay on my television, so don't tell me anything. Or if the game's about to start, then I'll.
The game hasn't started yet.
No, I still got to go. I don't want to ruin it. Yeah.
It's literally going to start within the next 10 seconds, guys. Rashid is bowling to Warner.
Yeah.
First ball of the game. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to love you and leave you guys because I'm going to sit and watch it.
Myself, we got to sit and watch it. I've got some work to
get
on with as well.
Can I quickly say that? Do you understand my point about the Quinton de Kock?
Yeah. No, I completely understand. But people, because of the whole Black Lives Matter thing at the moment, it is journalists see it as an easy way to pick up on it and fill column inches. Now, we don't know why he didn't want to do it in the first place. The general feeling, rather than being accurate, was that he didn't felt it was right to be imposed on him, that it was mandatory to do it. But we don't know the discussions that took place. Now, obviously, race in South Africa is a hugely significant issue there. So
and he's a black man himself. So this is
that's it. It's got the family. So
this isn't a racism thing. This is about a personal choice, about the politicization, I would imagine, of it.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you? But
you've said something interesting because Quinton de Kock actually is multiracial, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's black. He qualifies as black in the team.
Then how can that be a problem? Then? If the person who is of a black background, then he just flies in the face. Oh, I'm sorry.
I would also imagine Norman,
it's an emotive subject, so let's
Yeah, I would imagine Warner's got no idea how to play. He's got no idea how to play Rashid here. I'm a bit ahead of you. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, so I need to go, Norman, because it's a pleasure. Thank you everyone for the comments.
Norman, thanks.
Catch up with everyone again. See you all soon.
Catch up with you soon, guys. Have a good day.
Thanks, Munchy. Thank you both. Cheers. Brilliant, guys. Brilliant. Well, there you go. You've got some great commentary there leading into the match from both Barnstable and obviously Munchy. Both very, very knowledgeable guys about cricket. And they know what they're talking about and they're passionate, but they're also fair. And I would agree with that wholeheartedly. So, yeah, this has been a wonderful little tournament so far. Games going on as we speak. And, of course, with the match here with Aaron Finch batting currently with Abdul Rashid, they're not getting many runs. Yeah, we'll squeeze them. Certainly we'll squeeze them. Razul Hassan's asked about Munchie when the BBL starts soon in Australia. In fact, it might be a bit later because of the, it could be in December. Be ready for Warner's single-digit score. I tend to listen. I agree. And we had Finch just hit down the ground. So, guys, keep watching. We're going to watch this together. I would like to see Rashid get an early wicket, though. I must say he probably needs to get an early wicket or two. Warner's got himself a new bat. He no longer uses Spartan, he uses DSC. Yeah, Munchie and Barnsley Boy actually want to watch the game. I sit there and watch the game and not commentate it, which is fair enough. Munchie's English, yes, Lucifer. He certainly is. Finch is 5-5, throws 6 up. Pretty reasonable start. Not sure who that is. Yeah, the black armband has been worn for both Divinutu as coach. Divinutu. So the coach, okay, Alan Davison, the Australian legendary all-rounder, passed away. Ashley Marrett, the off-spinner, has also passed. I'm showing both of them now. Ashley Marrett, champion well. My coverage is 2 minutes behind Reg and Norman. I don't no, did not them spoiling the game. Okay. Alan Davison from June 1929 until 2021, October. Andrew McDonald's there as one of the coaches. Chris Wokes is coming on to bowl his first over. Zezum Islam, someone saying gone. Ashley Mellor's gone. You see, he's passed away, correct. Warner out. So much for Warner's 65. He's just scored 1 now. In 1 innings does not make a champion at the moment. That was a shocking shot. He's walking down the wicket and nicked it. Yeah, his 65 was probably going to be the only score he's going to score, I'm afraid. And Australia are on their way to being summarily smacked by England. Absolutely nothing except Adele and Emerson. All of the economic need to deposit them in the garbage bins. No. Warner caught Butler by 1. This was right. Richard Vernon's just smiling. I'm not smiling. I think that Australia's going to implode today. I actually think they're going to implode. They're coming up against some stiff opposition for once. They beat Sri Lanka, who were not at their best. They beat South Africa, who were also not at their best. I would really imagine that Australia's going to lose this comprehensively, I think. Pax report against asked foolish question from Afghanistan. Navi, have you seen that press conference? No, I haven't seen it. Single digit, good call, Lucifer Johnson. Munchie, I've been saying it too. My great prediction. Yes, Lucifer. I predicted a third ball duck to Warner, and it was exactly the third ball. Now, I'm going to win a field day roast. Well, I'm having a field day because it's true. One game wonder. 65 against and the Australians against the Sri Lankan side that weren't on the best. Chris Wokes has just beaten both Warner and got his wicket, and then all now beaten Steve Smith. Oops. Just sticking the pad out and bat. Oof, awful. Mind you, Norman, Warner's catch was dropped in the last match. That boy, he scored runs. He has not come to form. Yet it's proved exactly. Ha, Norman, exactly. Exactly. Warner's crap. His best is behind him. Dropped by the Sunrise Hyderabad not once but twice. Said his form wasn't that bad. Maybe he said it's a big time. I don't know what shot he was playing. There's Fieldsman there. The DSC bat didn't last very long. Needs his Spartan back. I told you I'm concerned about Aussies in the back. I'm very concerned. Oh, that looked like he was out, actually. Oh, Jesus. Tell you what, that could well be. So as we said, England won the toss, elected to bowl. Yeah, you'd have to wonder about this. You really do. This whole situation. Why has that gone down the 9 point? Are we dropping again? Yeah. What did Pakistan report ask? Yeah, tell us the story. I'm not happy with that. Comments. So England is hot favourite, but I want Aussies to win because the group is looking at one side now. Well, it is. There's not much you can do if they're not playing well enough, I'm afraid. Why has this gone back to 9-7? It's funny. There's some. Okay, let's have a look here. Great catch. What the hell? Yeah, this is just, it's becoming mind blowing. This whole thing, this whole game's great catch. Yeah, but it's just bad batting. Bad batting. England are going to crush them as they've crushed the last two teams they've played, I'm afraid. It's a Chris Jordan wicket. My God. Smith won, Warner won. Two for 8, looking pretty ordinary. Glenn Maxwell's going to do a save. Trying to watch the game. is there any team to challenge England? Of course there is. Pakistan and India. Really, Pakistan, England. Who said earlier about Australia 55 all out? Was it you, Munchkin? Nikhil Shallow, yep. Bringing Chris Jordan on so early. Was it a masterstroke? Owen Morgan almost got through with his KKR side. England will top their group. Pakistan will top theirs. Depending on how things go, you would imagine India will come through and be second. And on this side of it, well, Australia at the moment would be, but they may not be. Here we go, Steve Smith. Really, really awful player. Maxwell's toes. They're there, but not sure about the what way they're no way. I'm not taking England lightly at all. No one guys getting ridden by each story is burning. Yeah. At least the 50 required to fight. They won't fight. Great catch by Wokes. Tremendous fight. Maxwell's still a great. And Finch is not bad. So our club. Oh, the India-New Zealand game. Abhishek Sharma's going to be a bottler. It's going to really decide, pretty close to decide who the second place will be in that group. Australia's, I don't know, Steve Smith's shot was a shocker. Yeah, Savtig, Bulgaria, if Maxwell goes, they're pretty much gone. Still got Finch there, but they're gone. They're 2 for 11 now. England, whatever total they'll be getting, will cruise. And probably, if they get a low total, they're going to finish them off very quickly. It's quite astounding, actually. I think there's some Australian families. Ferguson lost is a big blow. Lockie Ferguson for New Zealand, yeah, for sure. Is this the ground where the truest fact? Yes, it certainly is. England is going to win this in a canter. Even with a reasonable recovery. I would think so. No, they won't get. Australia not going to be more than 160 unless Maxwell goes berserk. Wokes is bowling fantastically. Can India come hard against New Zealand tomorrow? They can, and they should. India should be seething after they lost to Pakistan. They should be ready to fight and fight hard. That's the key to chill tomorrow's match. Matthew Wade, oh God, he's hopeless. Matthew Wade should not be in the side. Josh English is one of the players we bring in. Maxwell 4, Finch is on 7. Ruban Logan, I've never heard of you for a while. Jeebus, and you're still going for it. But viewers are at 712, then what? India need to change their 11 a little bit, yeah. Ashwin should be in. Was Ashwin Agar selection good, Norman? Well, they dropped Mitchell Marsh, who was supposed to be the batting saviour, which that was bizarre. Ashwin Agar's selection may help if he bowls well, but otherwise I'm back. What did I miss? A lot. Cricket legends, 2 wickets. Warner 1, Smith 1. Warner back to normal form. What's this? Maxwell gone? Oh, God, he looks absolutely plumb. Oh, my God. Sorry, Anuj, I don't swing like away, okay. Shadolf, Shami, you can't because both have something. Yeah, Maxwell, this is a bit of an end to this. Maxwell's gone straight away in deep trouble. They're questioning it, but he looked definitely out. DRS, but Maxwell's gone. Justin Langer looking pretty upset. Oh, God, he's plumb as they come. Is there any bat there? I doubt it. Kumadamasan, mate. Kumadamasan, my old mate. Called me the boss. Nothing on that. Not a Skerrick. Gone. Wilkes is bowling fantastically. Out. Yeah, Wilkes is a seriously good cricketer. Richard Vernon just made a comment. So Richard, make those comments. Richard Vernon, make those comments on the comment section of the post after I've finished. Now we've got Steiner Sin, who didn't expect to come through for 15. He and Finch go. That's it batting wise. I mean, they've only the next batter in is Wade. Then you're into Agar and the tail. Yeah. Warner and Smith did not perform, and now Maxwell couldn't. You can't blame Maxwell. Works his class, he is. Can't blame Maxwell. Shub Kandwala, I think the match is done, Dustin. Look, it's going to be England topping Group 1 and Pakistan topping Group 2. It doesn't matter whether India can make the second position in Group 2 and, well, Australia or Sri Lanka getting that second berth. Well, it may be South Africa, unfortunately. Because they beat... Oh, Sri Lanka should have won today. Sri Lanka should have won today. They blew it. Let's see what's telling us. Can Pakistan beat India twice? Harder to do. Yeah, it will be. If it's an India-Pakistan final, it'll be very interesting. Quick legends, Hardik Pandya's selection will decide India's fate. The World Cup. What do you think, Rick? I absolutely agree. Get rid of him. Shardul should be in the side, and I think Ashwin should be considered as well. England can even change 180. So when Australia didn't win the toss, they already lost the game. Yeah, I agree as well. So they will finish second. Yeah, it looks like it. Maxwell was clearly out. Very ordinary shot, actually. Spot on. What was the spot on with? Surely this is out. What's going on here? This is another wicket. He must be something that's just happened. Oh, oh, oh. How could that be not out? That looks plumb. That looked plumb. Getting rid of Hubby and getting in Ashton and Shuttle. That's what I said. Yes, it's right. Bundy's got to go. Ashman's got to come in. Shardle's got to come in. And I don't know what combination from that, but that's what they've got to do. Chakravarti, I'm sorry, he's done nothing. Oh, that's out. Some very good seam bowling. Says in Islam saying it's saved. The missing stumps, is it? Oh, it's an umpire's call. Oh, it should be out. Oh, well, it can certainly count him as lucky stars there. Finch can count his lucky stars. Almost got him again. It was off the bat with the pad, wasn't it? Very ordinary. Winning toss, winning match, absolutely. We all can see that, Barham. It's too early to assume that Shardle can be an all-rounder. We are yet to witness the batting masterclass from, don't worry, Quick Legends, he's the one. And he'll do it when they most need it too, like Asif Ali did. Jordan Wokes bowling both magnificently. Rashid, and they've still got Livingston and Timer Mills as well. England are going to kill this. Chris Jordan's bowling very well. Norman is surprised how did Australia in the two matches. I was. They beat South Africa very badly. They beat Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka just didn't seem to put up a fight. I didn't understand why Afghanistan decided to bat first yesterday. I totally agree. I didn't understand why they shouldn't have batted first. This is like watching a match with 11 of your best buds in the room over a case of beer. Nice. Okay, angel wings. Jesus, Aaron Finch was lucky. He should have went. He barely got a run with it. Just over 3. Yeah, Satvic or Balgari, I think you're right. Listen, I agree. I was wondering too. Shadle brings a lot of balance to the side. I think he does. Totally. So no one's got double figures yet. After Wade, they're all bowlers. There's 5 bowlers. There Cummins, Agar, Stark, Sample, Hazelwood. Had Finch gone there that last over, boy, it would have been a mess. Langer doesn't look good. Deepak instead of Bhuvi and Shami. Deepak Chahar. Well, I think that ball's keeping very low. Steve Smith looks very bothered. Mind you, England have a big batting lineup compared to Australia. They do. How can South Africa go in through? They got beaten by Australia. India needed all around a cover for him. Okay. If only one change has to be made, get rid of Punchless Boothie. Get rid of Hardik Pandya. Hardik Pandya. Australia got no idea. They're 3 for 19 off into this 6th over. It's awfully hard to watch. But yeah, there's no doubt England are winning Group 1. Pakistan will win Group 2. Bro, we don't give up easily. Very tough wide call, if you ask me. If you're there, guys, can you please view, like, and share the videos and the YouTube channel? Try to get me some more subscribers. I'm trying to reach 20,000. I'm 19,800 now, which I thank you all for. But let's get 20,000. How about Venkatesh Iyer as all-rounder in South African tour? Maybe. Finch is out of form. That's why he was not sitting up. You'll say, very true. Can England and Pac win all their groups games? I think they will. Pretty hard to beat them. Works is playing very, very well. For the Works has been great performance. Till Pat meets up India again. Look, India and Pakistan are likely to go through. England, Pakistan, India, and God knows, Australia, South Africa, who knows? And then they're going to cross over, Pakistan through, and then England versus India. Oh, it's hard to pick, but you can imagine India getting through. Oh, there's a great catch. Chris Wokes look fantastic. Chris Wokes is very impressive. Good on De Kock for what he did. Well, it's over now. We're moving on from that. Okay, let's play. So they went to thirds to qualify for semis. A bit early, getting close. So they've got some pretty hard games to end, I think. You're fine. De Kock was on his knee, like I'm here just waiting. So Warner really needs to get his act together. He looks like he plays lower game career. Yep. It is unfair to India there. Yeah, okay. Money SA has no capacity to qualify. No, I agree. What about Saranga's hot streak? Sri Lanka should have won that game today. Power play is over, is that right? Okay, Norman reading Andrew's comments, looking confused. Gone, fourth gone. Fourth gone, is that we're seeing a fourth wicket fall? Oh, yeah. Four for 21. Ball's keeping very, very low. Awful. Australia. Warner won. Smith won. Stoinis duck. 6 or something for Maxwell. Oh. Very poorly played. This is hard to watch. This will be over in about half an hour. We're sitting at Pat Cup. No, Matthew Way's out there. Finch has got 11. 4 down, yes, Munchie went over. I know. Why would someone score a single digit for his selfishness? And he says, just, it's not that hard to watch. Of course, it's not hard to watch, Richard. Why couldn't he do commentary and watch it when you enjoy the telling, gloating? Absolutely awful. I told you guys. I told you that Australia wouldn't do well. They won't make the semi-finals, and they won't make the semi-finals in this effort. I'll tell you now. Matthew Way's played 41 matches, only 67 runs, 670 runs, and 19 batting averages. Drop him. Bring in Inglis. Let's see him fall. Ooh. Stoinis was playing from the wicket. He's watching the spin from the wicket, which way I was going. That was too late. Only a single. Very frustrating. Very, very frustrating, guys. Very, very frustrating. I'm just going to get a drink, guys. Aaron Finch he's toiling hard. He's toiling pretty hard as captain. Would you really hope he would? But yeah, it's not saying much to the rest of the side at 35 in the morning here. Question when getting up this late. That's my question. Okay. So 4 for 27 off 7. As a receives a great bowler. Did you go shake a cocktail? Yes, I did. Not a cocktail, it was an apple juice. Oh, wow. And that, normally to him, then wildly unusual to me. I don't know what you're talking about. I did not. Livingston's coming on now. After damage has been done, we'll see what damage he does. Leg spinner. Big boy. Career is over, I think so. Very, very ordinary. Very poorly. This is ludicrous by Australia. I'm pretty sure they didn't practice well. Yeah, manager, I'm pretty disappointed too. Aussie's insatiable first. Me, yes, I know. Wade looks busy. Wade always had successes over there. I don't agree. I doubt Warner will be picked in the next IPL auction. What do you say? I only because there's two new franchises. One of those two he'll crawl to when I'll get in. Finch. Australia hasn't had many games for a while due to it shows. Yep, Finch has it because he hit only 85 runs, that two in the 50 over the match. Wade is not busy, he's always free. Wade is just, he's ordinary, he's not the best keeper. Bring in Josh Inglis. If they lose another couple, blame it on it. No, I'm not blaming it. Warner's too young to be done. He's not too young. He's 35. 35. He's not young anymore. They love dancing in the wicket, but doing nothing. One must be removed for 4 months straight. Yeah, I kind of think there's something not right there. Today, Morgan and Livingston should be open to get some batting practice. Yeah, agree with it. It's pretty steady over from Livingston, 9 for 5. 8, 6, they're scoring 4 and over. So at this rate, they'll get 80 runs as a total. Yes, manager, Warner needs to be replaced. I think it's getting close then. The good shot from Aaron Finch, but there's a fielder there. Bairstow. Yes, Justin Langer. I would agree with that. Also, should he not play through that? He is not for it. It's just, there's a lot of problems with this strong side. They've been lucky to get through. They played badly against South Africa. They played against the Sri Lanka side that didn't play that well, and now they're playing against a side of quality for the first time, and they're getting beaten. Well, 2 runs there, if not 3, was it? Awful. I'm like, boy, I can't wait for tomorrow's match between England and New Zealand. It's going to be big. These hardbound book of excess will be hard to listed that they have heroes on last losing team playing test currently. Yeah, I would agree. Kishan is a very risky. I think he should be put in. I think Kishan should be in their side too. Definitely Hardik Pandya out. And Chakravarti I haven't been that impressed with either. Four for 36. Adil Rashid is 1 for 16 or 2.4. That looked like it. Jesus. I just pitched that leg. Oh, interesting. It's just a run over 4 and over, which is awful after 9 overs. Langer's looking at numbers. Mitchell Marsh treated just like Sean Marsh, scores heavy and runs and gets chopped. Which 4 place should KKR retain next year on? Well, Owen Morgan certainly one. Probably Pat Cummins. Who else were there? Aya was the opener. Certainly. And Shubman Gill. Did he play? He played as well. India will beat Pat first. Why? Because Coley can't. Okay. Gill, Narayan, Russell, perhaps. Yeah. Barely 40 runs after 10 overs. Also, his fitness issues he does, and age issues probably more than anything. Only Rohit and Rahul can score faster. Middle of, it's a bit heavy, guys. Livingston's not pulling that. Okay. Will KKR retain Morgan just because of his captaincy? Well, partly, certainly. Charlotte's going through a phase where whatever he touches turns to gold. Yeah. Drinks at 4 for 41. All right, guys. Looks like we're going to be in for a pretty ordinary match here. 4 for 41. I'd say Australia will lose this. So I would like to continue, but I think I'm going to stop it there, guys. Then I want Charlotte to touch all things of the house. Okay. Lisa Johnson, Angel, you've been great. Commentating as always. but we need to be able to understand this is already gone on for 2 hours, 40 minutes. I need to stop the show. It's gone. Get some sleep on me. I certainly will, Angela. So all the best, guys. Australia will probably going to see the end of their chances finishing right now. England will win again. They're going to firm up their Group 1, as are Pakistan. So England, Pakistan, maybe India, and maybe South Africa. I hate to say it. Hope not. Okay, all the best, guys. So we'll see you all tomorrow. Okay, view, like, and share. Subscribe. Please pass me. I'll win sync today. Okay, all guys. See you.